Welcome to another episode of Shotgun Tour Reviews. It's just toast tonight because I received this guy on Friday and we only shoot on Wednesdays. I'm trying to maintain 2 videos per week. So today I'm taking a look at, this is the Mafex Spider-Man 2099 as the box and figure clearly indicate, and just jumping straight into paint and sculpt. I think at this point, Wilson, if he were here, would interject and say, so wait, you bought this after Scarecrow? And I would say yes, because I don't care about Scarecrow as much as I do the Spider-Man in general, and Spider-Man 2099 more specifically. I've enjoyed him since the 90s series. And this look specifically more than the Spider-Verse top-heavy design. Just a long time fan of this. So I think this is a lot of body reuse from other Spider-Man that we will get to comparisons with a little bit later. I will say that the red stripe is slightly raised. I don't know. Nope, that is as well. So all of the red that you see is raised. It's well painted. I will show this off too, because if I didn't, Berg would complain. It's something that Berg would point out. So he has a red armpit for the disc that's in there. And these I actually swapped out. I'll get to accessories in a little bit. But this is a separate removable back piece. And so there are various options for this webbing that's back here. But I think it's really well designed, good looking Spider-Man 2099 figure. I think I really like the dark blue. There is still a bit of shine to it, and I think more so than other Spider-Man, I think this is, in my head, a very matte design. So I probably won't, but I am considering hitting this with some dull coat just to bring that down, make it even more matte, but I haven't decided about that yet. Going over articulation, it is typical Mafex articulation, so he has very smooth joints. Everything moves very well in a wide range. The hips do drop down, so that opens up. But we also get the extending knee. Great ankles. There's a toe joint, which is extremely tight. Does that even move? This one moves. That one moves. So everything, he moves like a Spider-Man should. Got a lot of twisting. Double jointed elbow gets the full range. You saw that this just popped off. I will have comments about this later. There's a pop to it. Maybe it just wasn't in all the way. So he gets up about that far. And then the neck gaps up there. Down about that far, and you can see some separation there. This is something I will be commenting on, but there is also this butterfly that's in there as well. So his arms can get forward pretty well as well. So he moves very well. The joints are nice and smooth, like I just pointed out, and everything is stiff. Getting into comparisons, so this is the original Mafex Spider-Man that I got, and his joints at this point are somewhat loose. So you can see just how easily all that moves, and the hips are kind of loose as well. He has taken at least one shelf dive, and one of the legs popped off about. So this one is more stiff. Maybe this is the one that popped off. But anyway, even things that haven't popped apart have gotten loose over time. And I don't remember how many years ago this toy is from. Boot swivel. But, yeah, this guy has gotten loose. So I'll bring in this guy as well. He's more recent, but all of his joints are still good. And I'll say this, if we didn't point it out at the time, there is a sheen difference between this knee and his leg, which I don't think is happening here. So as far as sheens, specifically with some of the joints like ankles, knees, elbows. I think they have gotten that better than they used to. So even that elbow is shinier than the bicep and forearm there. So I'm going to say Mafex is continuing to improve. Good on them. I'll get this comparison out of the way as well, because Berg's question would be, you already own the Hasbro. You spent even more money to get the Mafex? And I would tell him yes. This is okay. It was a good placeholder at the time, but its proportions are weird. I mean, Mafex is better. They are not quite the same height. Hasbro is a tiny bit taller, but proportions on this guy are kind of lanky. Also, he's got the pinholes there, so that breaks up the color. Also, the wrist peg there. And I was never really a fan of this. I'm not super a fan of this either. I think fabric would have been the way to go. Keep the peg holes, but attach some kind of fabric. Something super sheer, maybe gauzy, or like a cheesecloth or something. I don't know. But I don't know that plastic was the way to go for this. Anyway. This is that comparison. You can see the colors. The reds are almost the same, but obviously the blue, the dark grayish blue is completely different. So there's that. As far as accessories, he comes in typical Mafex style with a bunch of hands. So we've got web holding hands, we've got chop hands, relaxed hands, claw hands, crawling hands. I think those are crawling hands, posing hands, more crawling hands, and then we have magnet feet. So I think most of the Spider-Man have come with magnet feet, and then we also have what have become standard Mafex web lines. This time, instead of being white, they're a sort of, oops, drop that on the floor. They are a kind of translucent purple, which I find interesting. It's a nice way to mix it up, but it is the exact same sculpt that we have gotten a few times before with previous Mafex Spider-Man. He also comes with a typical Mafex stand that you need to put together. These are quite nice. I use these generally with non-Mafex figures, but I do like that they come with stands. There are also a couple of heads, so this is, by default, he comes with a neutral face, and then he's also got this furrowed eyebrow. So that's nice. The one I don't fully understand is this half mask. And there's a couple of things. One, I enjoy unmasked heads, not this lifted mask thing. I don't fully enjoy the gritted teeth, and I think Miguel is pale here. I think he should be darker, in my opinion. Also, the paint is a little fuzzy, so I'm definitely not using this. I'll probably just stick with the neutral face, because the furrowed eyebrow isn't too much of a difference. Not at shelf distance. So what I've shown off a little bit already is that this back piece is removable, and for customizers, you get a real good look at the insides of a Mafex figure, how the articulation works. And I found this very interesting. But this is not the one that comes in the box. He's actually wearing this, which is a thin one piece. This is a two-piece, obviously, but it independently articulates on these ball pegs. And then there is also a wider one piece. Each of these has the same ball joint there. What surprised me, or I knew this at one point and then forgot about, is there's also these peg holes in the triceps, and he comes with 4 pieces that plug into the triceps. I haven't actually done this yet. I've only seen pictures, but so that's a look that you can have. Probably works well for dynamic posing. I do like how flush it is with the tricep sculpt. Goes right up against the edge there. So that's well done. I do like that. And if I knew that at one point, I had forgotten that was an option. But what you've, I think, already seen is that when manipulating the figure, because the whole back comes off, it can loosen and gap up when you're just manipulating the figure. So that's not great. I guess if you really wanted, you could pick one of these and then glue it and then not have to deal with that, but it's weird. Kind of defeats the purpose of swappability. So from the front, just in a static stance, you don't really see it. You can see it there peeking out a little bit from, between his armpits, but yeah, I like the wider one that you can see a bit more of. Personal preference. Forescale. I've shown a bit of this off already, but here's a side-by-side comparison with Marvel Legends and a previous Mafex. I was throwing in a figure arts real quick, and there was a discussion recently in a different video about maybe this guy is a little on the short side. And why won't you stand? You were just standing. You've been standing for weeks. Damn you. And yeah, the more I look at it, he does seem a little short compared to the others, but figure arts is generally a little bit shorter. And just because I happen to have them on hand within reach, here is the question. So these are never going to scale well with one another, but there's the question. As I go into final thoughts, I'm showing off the back of the box here with some dynamic posing and some excellent use of those tricep cape pieces. So yes, in dynamic poses, he looks great with it. But I guess ultimately I enjoy the figure. I don't know how many more Mafex Spider-Man I'll be getting. I think I've gotten the ones that I really want, which are main suit, blue and red, and then the black suit. I will, for whoever gets it to me first, Hasbro, I'm looking at you. But if Mafex does a Future Foundation, I'll probably get that too, because I really want a Future Foundation suit. The white with black accents, not the one that Hasbro did recently, which was the stealth suit, the black one with white accents. It looks cool and wasn't my preferred. But anyway, I think I've gotten the main Mafex Spider-Man that I want from Mafex. Did I just say Mafex twice? So I don't know how many more I'll be getting. Probably none. Probably at least one more, because I'll be forgetting someone. If somebody gives me a Power Cosmic, I've already got the Hasbro one, but Cosmic, he's my favorite. So it's a great figure. The back piece loosening up is annoying, and I don't enjoy this unmasked head. I would have liked a fully unmasked head instead, so that's not great. But I'm going to give it a 4.5 hammers. I do really enjoy it. I guess we'll find out over time whether or not the joints loosen up like this, or if they've figured out what happened here and they've corrected it on future releases. I'll say this too, because I think they've increased the fist size. I think the black suit has smaller hands. Maybe I'm just imagining it. I don't know. 2091 looks slightly larger. So I think they are still retooling the body, even though it is a lot of reuse from one Spider-Man to the next. But I enjoyed it. He's going to look great on the shelf. I think that was everything that I wanted to say. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back next week, ideally, with the other two idiots. So, like and comment. I don't know what that noise was. Now my neighbor's making noise. I don't know what's going on. It is surprisingly quieter at the shop than it is at my own house. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. You know how YouTube works. Thanks for watching.